Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. This is the Original Rebels Racing League Hardline Transport Solutions Outlaw Truck Series here at Richmond International Raceway here on iRacing. It is the last race of the round of 8 before we move 4 drivers to the Championship 4. Again, we'll be taking next week off due to the Thanksgiving holiday. But in 2 weeks, we'll be racing right here on Intensity Broadcasting as the field takes on Homestead, Miami. I believe it's Atlanta for the final race of the season. Again, we apologize for Friday night with the issues with the graphics. Looks like we've got everything straightened out here back on my end and looking for a fantastic race here tonight here at Richmond Raceway. And Richmond short track, kind of flat, although you can run the high lane, especially through the corners. You can set up passes there on that high side, but only early in the run. Once the tires start to wear off, then you definitely want to get yourself back down to the low side. So watch for drivers who have the short track experience, really know how to work it here tonight. As we are getting practice just about finished up here. We'll get the points up on the screen in just a moment. Just trying to get everything fit back here on my screen. See Brandon Wallace out on track right now. Jonathan Cofield, one of our top 8 here, trying to lock themselves into the next round. And as we take a look at our top 8 here tonight, see Corey Hines, who's already locked into the final race, won the previous 2 races. So he's denied anybody else from moving forward. Jonathan Cofield sits 10 points back. Then Andy Kurtz and Corey Bigley. Andy Kurtz, Corey Bigley both tied, but you look at 3rd through 8th. How close the points are. Mike Kosick needs a win here tonight, but from 3rd to 7th, just separated by 8 points. So it's anybody's ball game for that final spot here tonight. Take a look at the back of the pack championship as well. Gary Wright currently has a little bit of a lead over Brett Bieber, and Travis Bieber not too far back behind as well. So within 20 points of each other, those 3, anybody's game there as well. As practice is just finishing up here tonight, we get ready for qualifying. Of course, I want to thank everybody who's joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. We do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that like button so we know that you like what you're seeing out on track. Andy Kurtz, our first driver to make his way across the lines, takes the green flag. Eddie Smith says, let's go. Kevin Kinder says, hello, announcer guy, a.k.a. Mr. Hall. Speaking of Kinders, we've got a Kinder sight in here in this race as well. I see Garrett Kinder in that famous 13 in this race here as well. So we'll be watching him tonight as Andy Kurtz one of our playoff drivers. And you'll remember our playoff drivers are indicated by the light blue stripes next to their name. Corey Bigley jumps up to the top of the board on his first lap. See, he's able to do. Now Andy Kurtz jumps back to the top. Let's see what Bigley's able to do here on his second lap. Cross the line, and Corey's going to stay there in that third position. Jonathan Cofield just jumped up into the second spot as he's coming through turns 3 and 4 and down to the stripe. And his second lap is going to be a little bit slower. It's going to keep him back in that second position. Brett Bieber just came across the line in 7th. Garrett Kinder on his white flag lap now, down to the bottom of the track through turns 1 and 2. And if there's anybody who likes short tracks, it's definitely this 13. So watch him tonight, see what he's able to do marching through the field. He's going to start, as of right now, on the pole. So to the top of the board goes the 13 of Garrett Kinder, not losing his touch after not running for a couple weeks. Here comes Mike Bertosa taking the white flag. Jumps up into the 10th position on his first lap. Cross the line. Sorry, off of turn 2 and down the backstretch. And across the line, and Mike Bertosa is going to stay there in the 10th position. Matt Knights just took the white flag. He's coming down the backstretch now. Through turns 3 and 4. Ooh, loose off the corner, catches the wall. That's going to disallow his time. So that's going to do it for Matt Knights. Here's Matt Telder in the 7, one of our playoff drivers. Down across the stripe to take the white flag for him. Cody Bohm says Kinder came out of retirement to lay down a burner, and he sure did. Telder off of turn number 2. Down the backstretch. And across the stripe. Telder is going to go P7 in the 7 machine. Greg Froelich just taking the green flag. His first of 2 laps. Froelich down across the line. And Froelich is going to go P13. Matt Kleeman comes through 3 and 4 for the final time on his qualifying attempt. Down across the stripe, and Kleeman is going to jump up into the 10th position. Still have 3 drivers left to qualify, one of those being Jerry LeGrand, who just left pit road. Also looks like, I know we talked about, I had some issues with the stream on Friday night, got that fixed up. Also looks like we got Facebook fixed as well. So Facebook was not working for a little while, but now we got that back and running. Here's LeGrand coming across to take the white flag. Great look here from the roof of LeGrand as he comes down into turns 3 and 4. Runs a little bit higher lane. Down across the stripe. And LeGrand's going to stay back in that 16th position. It looks like we still have 3 drivers left to qualify. Steve McDonald, Tommy Osborne, and Gary Wright. Do not see the 57 of Corey Hines in the race here tonight, although he is already locked in to the final race in 2 weeks at Atlanta. So tonight we have 2 final rounds of 8 here. We have the first one here in the Hardline Transport Solutions Outlaw Truck Series, followed by the Whole Heating and Sheet Metal Rebels Truck Series. Will be taking on right after this one's over for their final race of the round of 8 before we move on to Atlanta. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch, it does mean a lot to us. We do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Of course, we want to thank all of our partners that make this league possible, including Hardline Transport Solutions Incorporated, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Intensity Broadcasting, Peg Leg Felts, Thunderstruck Super Series, and Kinder Farm and Ranch. Of course, we want to thank all of our great partners here at Intensity Broadcasting as well, including Race EPI. For all your setup and coaching needs here on iRacing, visit raceepi.com. Of course, you can also support us over at IntensityRacing.com, where you can find hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, not just of Intensity Broadcasting. Atlee Atman Weetz's merchandise is there. A couple new drivers on there as well. You can pick up the new Joe and Josh 2024 t-shirt. And if you order 2 or more items, your order will get $5 off. That's the holiday special that we're running right now. So you can check out the link below at IntensityRacing.com. Of course, we also want to thank our great partner here at Intensity Broadcasting, the Butt Kicker. And Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel ultra-low frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus, that's the one I have, is the new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. And of course, not just do they have gaming haptics, but they have subwoofers and haptics that you can put in or around your couch for listening to music, watching movies. So it's really neat. You can check that out, the full list of products, over at thebuttkicker.com. There is a link down below in the description as well. So we've got less than a minute before we get things underway here for the final race of the round of 8. Only 4 drivers can move on. We'll take a look again at the points coming into tonight. You see Corey Hines again locked in already. 10 points back, Jonathan Cofield, but that's where the battle really begins. Because from 2nd to 7th is only separated by 11 points. And with more than 11 drivers in the field, just one driver can have a bad night and be completely locked out of the playoffs. Of course, Mike Kosick, he's a ways back. He's got to win here tonight. He is in a must-win situation to move on to the round of 4. So watch for some desperation out of the driver of the 8 machine. And then you take a look at the back of the pack championship. Gary Wright currently in the lead. Brett Bieber, Travis Bieber, those 3 are the 3 that are the closest to him. So watch for that here tonight as we get ready to grid them up. When you take a look at your starting lineup, and the Peg Leg Felts Pull Award goes to the 13 of Garrett Kinder. Andy Kurtz will roll off from P2. Sitting in 3rd is the 58 of Jonathan Cofield, and you find the 82 of Corey Bigley. Mike Kosick will start from the 5th position with Jonah Colbert to his outside in 6th. Then Matt Telder and Greg Barnett will round out row number 4, followed by Brandon Wallace and Greg Froelich. Matt Kleeman rolls off 11th with Brett Bieber in 12th. 13th is the one of Brandon Pollock with Matt Knights to his outside in 14th. Mike Bertosa, he'll roll off in 15th with Jerry LeGrand in the 16th position. 17th is Steve McDonald, 18, Tommy Osborne, and Gary Wright rounds out the field here tonight at Richmond. So we get ready to get things underway here tonight. See the trucks rolling down the front stretch, getting ready to go racing here tonight at Richmond. See the chat is blowing up a little bit. Kevin Kinder says hi to Cody. Eddie Smith says, I hope Corey Hines makes it to the Final Four. Well, with the 2 wins, he's already locked in. So we just have a battle for those final 3 spots here tonight. So the field will be making their 2 pace laps here tonight. Before we get ready to go green flag racing. Sellout race here at Richmond as we get ready for this final race of the round of 8. Again, Garrett Kinder is going to lead everybody down to the start. Andy Kurtz up on that high lane. Jonathan Coatfield, Corey Bigley, all these drivers trying to lock themselves in here tonight. As the pace truck takes that hard left-hand turn down onto pit road. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Richmond, and already Garrett Kinder gets a good jump out in front as they come down into turns 1 and 2 for the first time. Kinder is going to clear Andy Kurtz as they make their way through turns 1 and 2. And Mike Kosick right behind, trying to get underneath the 58. I'm sorry, that's the 82 of Corey Bigley. As there is a battle here off of turn number 4, and Kosick is going to move himself up into 4th. A little further back, Jonah Colbert up on the high side has Matt Telder going by on the low side as they come off of turn number 2. A little wiggle out of that 31 as Telder continues to try to battle down on the low side. Ooh, catches the apron just a little bit. That's going to allow Colbert to get the run up on the high side and take away that position. A little further back, Greg Froelich, Matt Kleeman side by side. We see right behind Brandon Pollock in the mix. Pollock trying to race his way into the round of 4. All up front, Andy Kurtz starting to run down Garrett Kinder already. Kurtz knows the easiest way to lock himself into the next round is with a win. And that's exactly what he's trying to do here tonight. Brandon Pollock with a look down to the inside of Greg Froelich. That's a point in his favor as he tries to gain as many points here tonight as he can. And right behind, Brett Bieber now taking a look underneath the 71 of Greg Froelich. Froelich, though, able to fire off up on the high side. But back up front, Garrett Kinder has Andy Kurtz trying to do everything he can to get around him early while the tires are fresh. Kurtz gets a good run here through turns 3 and 4. Kinder so much better on the other end of the track as we see, again, Kurtz just not able to get that run down off of turn number 4. Corey Bigley trying to run back down. Mike Kosick trying to retake that 4th position. Again, don't forget your playoff drivers are highlighted in light blue so you can see exactly where they're running at all times. Greg Barnett trying to run down the 7 of Matt Telder to try to take over that 7th position. It's in the early runnings now. The field's starting to just spread out just a little bit. Andy Kurtz still trying to find his way around Garrett Kinder, but Kinder proving to be too tough right now on this early run. But as the tires wear down, we'll see these drivers have to make a couple moves around the track, make some adjustments to their driving style, and see who comes out on top. Of course, being a little bit of a flatter short track, that right front tire takes a lot of abuse here. So we'll watch for drivers to start having some issues, pushing a little bit. Speaking of pushing, here comes Corey Bigley pushing the issue here on Mike Kosick, and Kinder just got really loose there off the corner. He was able to hold on to it. As Matt Telder still has Greg Barnett battling there for position. And while we got a little break in the action, why don't we do something a little early here? We can just go right ahead and pump up the intensity. Battle here for second place. As Jonathan Cofield is taking a look down to the inside of Andy Kurtz. There's a battle side by side for second. And here comes Mike Kosick right in the mix here as well. So move Cofield up into the second position. He's trying to get a win here tonight to guarantee himself a spot up into the final 4. Last time by, that 58 machine was the fastest car on the track. Ran a 22.88 to Garrett Kinder's 22.97. This time by, Garrett Kinder ran a 23.06. Cofield a 22.95, and Cofield the only driver in the top 5 still running 22s. Jonah Colbert back in the 6th position ran a 22.99. So the only fast drivers out there right now is Kosick takes a move down to the inside of Andy Kurtz. And Corey Bigley's right here as well. He's trying to pounce and get himself up into the 4th position as well. Kurtz was able to fight back on that high side, tuck back in line. Now Kosick again in desperation mode, has to win here tonight. And he is trying to run down both Garrett Kinder and Jonathan Cofield. That time by Kinder and Cofield running almost identical times. As you see, Cofield has been quicker each of the last 5 laps. As Corey Bigley now to the inside of Andy Kurtz, trying to take over that 4th position. Kurtz, though, fighting back hard up on that high side. So a great battle here for the 4th position as Jonah Colbert is slowly working his way up into this battle as well. And Bigley's going to finally take over that 4th position. And now he can try to run down the 3 of Mike Kosick, who's put quite the gap. It's almost 2 seconds up to that 3 machine now, as he's working on running down Jonathan Cofield and Garrett Kinder. Up front, the tables have turned a little bit. Now Kinder running a little bit faster than Cofield the last couple laps. That time they were pretty much dead even as they came across the line. But Mike Kosick starting to catch up as we heard someone just catch the wall. Jonah is running down the 5 of Kurtz now. And he is right there on the back bumper as he's going to take a look down to the inside of Andy Kurtz. Kurtz has been so strong off of turn number 4. We've seen him struggle a little bit down through turns 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 has been his spot of the track where he's gained all his time. Now Jonah's going to make the move down to the inside. And he's going to, well, I thought he was going to take that position away, but Andy going to fight back on the high side. Trying to hold off the 5 of Kurtz. Ooh, Kurtz just caught the wall just a little bit. And that's going to let Colbert go right on by and take over that 5th position. Up front, we got a battle heating up at the front here as Garrett Kinder has Jonathan Cofield at the back bumper. You hear just how easy Garrett Kinder has to be on the throttle to keep the power down underneath him on that 13 machine as Cofield takes a look up to the high side. Not quite close enough to make anything happen though. So they work around the lap truck. couple lap trucks. We see Mike Bertosa here as well. Gary Wright just got passed. Looks like they are staying up and out of the way, allowing the leaders to battle, so didn't really hinder either driver's progress. And there's Mike Kosick now. He's reeled in our top two, and he's trying to get himself a win here tonight to lock himself into that round of 4. So throw your top 3 over under a blanket here. As we are coming to lap number 38. About halfway through a fuel run. So far clean, haven't had any cautions yet. There's still a lot of racing to do, and there's a lot of desperate moves that could be made in the late running of the race. So Kosick doing everything he can, trying to run down Cofield. Right now, Kosick is the fastest truck on the track as he continues to try to make his way towards the front. Gary Wright's first truck to come down on the pit road. And Andy Kurtz continues to fall backwards. He's fallen back into the 7th position and is in danger of losing that position to Greg Barnett, who runs back in the 8th spot. Oh, Jonathan Cofield now turning the afterburners back on as he's reeling in Garrett Kinder once again. Last 2 laps, he was almost a 10th quicker both times than Garrett Kinder, and coming up on a little more lap traffic, see if that who that helps or who it hurts. And Kosick right there, not going away either, actually running down these top 2 yet again, so he's inching closer up to the top spot to try to win here tonight and lock himself into the final 4. Kevin Kinder says whoever's been saving tires should be good to go here. And caution out on the track. Caution. And it looks like it is for the 21 of Gary Wright. And that is going to bring up our first Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind as we take a look to see what happened to Gary Wright here. Gary was just on fresh tires, so cold tires are really easy to loop the truck around, and we see exactly that off turn number 4. Just puts the power down a little too quickly, goes through John Deere country, keeps it off the wall, does a great job of that. Then tries to get back onto the racing surface. It looks like he might have looped it around again, trying to get back up to speed. So the entire field now making their way down onto pit road, led by Garrett Kinder. We should see everybody taking 4 tires here as 2 tires. It's definitely not going to be the best way to do it here tonight. So try to take a look here at the exit of pit road. Garrett Kinder wins the race off. Oh, Cofield just barely beats Colbert off pit road. I'm sorry, that's Kosick barely beats Colbert off pit road. As we see the race off of pit road continue. And Garrett Kinder coming off pit road first. Jonathan Cofield second. Mike Kosick third. Jonah Colbert fourth. And Corey Bigley back in fifth. So come off of pit road the same way they came on. So Garrett Kinder will lead here as we get ready to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them. Don't forget to check out our web store at intensitybroadcasting.com for hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, not just of your favorite Intensity gear, but also our novelty t-shirts, Atlee Atman Reese's racing gear, as well as a couple other drivers we've added to the racing portfolio. Have a couple new designs there as well, so you can check that out over at intensitybroadcasting.com. Of course, right now, we do have our holiday special going on. Take $5 off any order of 2 items or more. Active now until November 28th at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. So, looking for that holiday gift, that Kinder Farm and Ranch t-shirt, you can check out Intensity Racing or intensitybroadcasting.com. The link is down below in the description. Of course, our new design down there as well. The Joe Josh 2024. Pick that up there as well. But here we go. We're re-racked, restacked, getting ready to refire here. Garrett Kinder on the low side. He's going to lead us back down to the restart zone. Jonathan Cofield going to be up on that high side as the pace truck makes its way down on the pit road. Down through the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Garrett Kinder out with a big jump on Cofield. And here comes Mike Kosick looking down to the inside. He's trying to take over that second position as they come off of turn number 2. And he's going to slide up in front of Cofield. Yellow flag is back out. Mike Bertosa has looped it around on the backstretch. That's going to bring out our second Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. And you know what they say, cautions breed cautions. We're seeing exactly that as we see Bertosa down to the low side of Matt Telder. They're 3 wide for a second as they're running there with the 26. And yeah, Bertosa just loops it right around there. And Jonah Colbert coming down on the pit road. I believe he's going to end his day. Of course, he is still in the playoff run in the whole heating and sheet metal Rebels Truck Series. And we see the 21 of Gary Wright getting a lap back. He is your lucky dog. Of course, we were talking about the Intensity Broadcasting, Intensity Racing website. Of course, as I mentioned, our new designs here hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads, our polo shirt. Of course, Adley Atman-Weiss's racing gear as well. You can check all that out. A couple of our new t-shirts as well, including the Joe Josh 2024. Your favorite two announcers, you can pick up our t-shirt there over at intensityracing.com. And as I mentioned just before, cautions breed cautions. We're seeing that here tonight. Short track racing it is. Again, any two items will qualify for $5 off your entire order. So check that out at the link below. Of course, we do also have three other drivers' collections on the website. Carson Hayslip, Raven Kimball, and Phoenix Kimball all have their merchandise up on our website as well, so you can check all that out over at intensityracing.com. And of course, the Kinder Farm and Ranch t-shirts, hat, and sweatshirt, so you can check all that out over there. As next time by, the lights on the pace car will go off. We'll go back to one lap to go before we go back green flag racing. So here we go. Pace truck's getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn off to pit road as soon as we come down the back stretch here. And Garrett Kinder's going to lead him back down to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We are back racing, and Kosick immediately up to the high side, but he's getting attacked on the low side by Jonathan Cofield. So Cofield's going to slide job right in front of Kosick, and Kosick's going to make another move down to the inside. He's trying to get underneath that 58 machine. Andy Kurtz right behind as well, trying to make his way back through the field. They are still side by side off of turn number 4. Kosick and Bigley continue to battle side by side on these fresh tires, trying to make hay while the sun shines. And Kosick's going to try to slide up in front of the 82, but here comes Bigley fighting back hard on the high side. He's got Andy Kurtz right behind him as well. Kurtz trying to follow through if either one of these drivers slip up. We are just a few laps away from halfway. Now Kosick able to clear the 58 of Cofield. Here comes Corey Bigley. I'm sorry, that does Kosick clears Bigley. And now he can set his sights on Cofield. Cofield trying to run down Garrett Kinder. And here, just how long these drivers have to wait to get back to the throttle. Really have to let the trucks roll through the corner. It feels almost like forever until you can start picking the throttle back up. And then when you do start to pick it up, you've got to drive it almost like there's an egg underneath the throttle. to keep from looping it around. Now, though, Garrett Kinder's led every lap since the drop of the green flag. As he's trying to deny somebody automatic entry into the round of 4. Ooh, Kinder has a little bit of a connection blip right there. Well, for the back, Greg Barnett working on the back bumper of Matt Telder. Telder, one of our playoff drivers, currently running in the 8th position. Barnett back in 9th. Here comes Bigley back to the inside of Kosick, trying to retake that 3rd position. He is indeed going to take that position away. So now Corey Bigley up into the top 3. Here comes Barnett back around the outside of Telder, and Telder's trying to fight back on the low side, trying to get every point he can to see if he can move himself into the final 4. Back up front, Cofield trying to run down Garrett Kinder as we are approaching the halfway mark. Let's go through the field and take a look where all of our playoff drivers are. Jonathan Cofield, currently your highest running playoff driver in the 2nd position. Trying to move himself into the round of 4. Right behind we find the 82 of Corey Bigley, who's currently running down our leaders in the 3rd position. Back and forth is Mike Kosick in the 3, and Kosick needs a win here tonight. That's the only way that he can advance on to the final 4 is with a win. So Kosick doing everything he can to try to get himself up into that top position. And back in 5th is the 5 of Andy Kurtz. Brandon Pollock rebounding a little bit, up 6 spots into the 7th position. But he's got a hard charging Greg Barnett right behind him. Matt Telder, he sits back in the 9th position. He is our lowest running playoff driver. Only 6 drivers made the race here tonight. Of course, we know Corey Hines was already locked in. While that's going on, I just realized I've had the showing the wrong points up on the screen earlier tonight, and I apologize for that. So as I mentioned, Corey Hines is your points leader coming in tonight. He has the 2 wins, so he's automatically moving on. Corey Bigley back in second. Then only 5 points back to Andy Kurtz and Jonathan Cofield back there as well. Matt Telder, Mike Kosick, Brandon Pollock, and Fry Hubbard. So Fry did not enter the race here tonight, so he will be mathematically eliminated. But only 11 points separate second to 7th. So really, it is anybody's race here tonight, but we know that Mike Kosick, Brandon Pollock, Matt Telder currently in must-win situations here tonight. Right now, Garrett Kinder trying to deny everybody from a must-win situation. As we are just past halfway, and Kinder has led every single lap since the drop of the green flag. But now he's got his biggest challenge of the race so far. As Jonathan Cofield tries to run him down just behind. We see Corey Bigley and Mike Kosick battling for that 3rd position. Here comes Kosick looking down underneath Bigley. Just not close enough, though, to throw the nose underneath. Just trying to pull up alongside to give himself a chance to take away that 3rd position. How about Andy Kurtz making his way back towards the front here as well? So our top 4, that's your big battles here right now. As Cofield's trying to run down Garrett Kinder for the lead. And Kosick is trying to get around Corey Bigley, excuse me, so he can try to make his way towards the front and try to lock himself into the next round. Kosick making the move down to the inside now. He's got the position on Bigley as they come down into turns 1 and 2. Side by side through turns 3 and 4. Bigley on the high side. He's going to have to give that position up as Kosick slides right around and into the 3rd position as he tries to run down. Oh, here comes Bigley, though, fighting back on the inside. Pulls a little crossover now. But Kosick able to regain that position and stay out in front. Josh Oswald comes on and says, kill the 99. Wouldn't expect anything less from him. Of course, the 99 is currently running back in the 13th position. As we see, Garrett Kinder just got passed for the lead. Let's take a look back at the battle for the lead here as we see Cofield taking a look down underneath the 13 machine. And this is the first time that Garrett Kinder has not led here tonight. So put Cofield up to the top spot. And now Mike Kosick slowly running down. Greg Barnett running down the 808 of Brett Bieber. As now Garrett Kinder has Mike Kosick looking down underneath. Kosick trying to take over that second spot. Great battle side by side for second as Corey Bigley's coming up into this mix here as well. While these two are battling side by side, it's allowing Jonathan Cofield to just pull away. Kosick now clears Garrett Kinder. But now the gap between Cofield and Kosick is just over 2 seconds. Oh, right behind Corey Bigley gets loose there underneath Garrett Kinder. Almost some contact there between Bigley and Kinder. As now Kinder's going to be able to pull back away from Bigley. And Mike Kosick is now trying to run down Jonathan Cofield as the gap out in front is just over 2 seconds. Andy Kurtz runs back in fifth. He's slowly reeling in the 82 of Bigley. We see Gary Wright make his way down on the pit road. They get around. Here comes the 71 of Greg Froelich. Looks like he's on or getting lapped right now. Steve McDonald making his way down on the pit road. So it looks like green flag pit stops are going to be starting for some of these drivers. Jonathan Cofield continues to lead over Mike Kosick by 2.3 seconds. Brandon Pollock has the 38 of Greg Barnett looking to get around him. Again, Pollock trying to lock himself in here and One position is a point, so that's going to hurt the 11, the one's chance to move in as Garrett Kinder now makes his way down on the pit road. And now Cofield makes his way down pit road. So does Mike Kosick, Andy Kurtz, Corey Bigley all making their way down pit road. That's going to give the lead over to Matt Telder. So your top six as they run: Telder, Brett Bieber, Greg Barnett, Matt Kleeman, and Brandon Wallace stay out on track. See Brett Bieber now making his way down on the pit road. So just 4 cars left the pit. So we have less than 50 laps to go. And the caution is out. And it looks like the caution is out for the one of Brandon Pollock. And that's going to bring up a Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Apologize for that. Had a little technical glitch on my end here. You see Pollock just loses it all by himself off of turn number 2 and right in front of Steve McDonald, able to get it back rolling, but that will bring out the caution. And Matt Telder still out on the racetrack, has not come down pit road yet. So Matt Telder last on pit road on lap 45. Still out on the track, has not come down pit road for his final pit stop of the night. And that's a bold strategy, as he's pretty much trapped the entire field a lap down. So if you take a look here, we'll pull up our scoring tower here. Garrett Kinder runs back in the 5th position. He is currently 1 lap down. Andy Kurtz, Bigley, McDonald, Pollock, everybody 1 lap down. The only driver on the lead lap is the 58 of Jonathan Cofield. So Talder trying to use a little strategy here. See if he can lock himself into the Final Four with a win. As the lights get ready to go off on the pace truck. We have 1 lap to go before we go back green flag racing. Of course, Cofield is on those fresh tires coming down pit road on lap 108. Telder last on pit road on lap 45. He does have a bunch of lap cars between himself and Cofield, so we'll see how this plays out here. This green flag is in the air for Matt Telder. So they come down into turn number 1. We see Barnett looking down to the inside. And Greg Barnett is going to take the lead away from Matt Telder. And right behind Barnett, we see this mess of trucks as Brandon Wallace looking up to the high side of Telder. Oh, Telder gets turned. Almost gets turned, but Matt Knights ran into the back of the 7. They're 3 wide, making more contact. Telder gets turned. Andy Kurtz. Telder's up on his side. Caution is out. Greg Froelich involved as well. A lot of damage to the 5 of Andy Kurtz. And that's going to bring up a Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. As we take a look here from above. And he starts with the 3 wide here. Matt Knights up on the high side, Telder in the middle. Andy Kurtz with those fresh tires on the low side. And Telder just gets pushed up the track up into Matt Knights. Andy Kurtz gets turned as well right in front of Garrett Kinder and the rest of the leaders. Kinder gets a little piece of it here as well. Brandon Pollock able to slide through. There's McDonald. Heavy impact. Brett Bieber down on the low side. Then we see Matt Telder up and over on the side. Right in front of Mike Kosick, but Kosick's able to sneak by. We see Greg Froelich get a big chunk of it there as well. So Andy Kurtz makes his way down pit road. He gets his damage fixed up. That's going to change the entire complexity of this race. Telder was trying to use a little bit of strategy to keep himself out front and steal a win here tonight to lock himself in. Now we've got Greg Barnett and Brandon Wallace going to be restarting 1-2. Then Jonathan Cofield and Corey Bigley back in 3 and 4. And we only have 5 trucks left on the lead lap. So Corey Bigley was able to get the lucky dog to wave himself back around onto the lead lap. Matt Telder was able to use his reset to get himself a new truck. And he's going to restart in 5th, the last truck on the lead lap. Could we see a non-playoff winner here tonight? Again, we know a couple of these drivers are in desperation mode here tonight. As the lights are off on the pace truck, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and do it all again here. Greg Barnett going to be your leader. Down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing. Brandon Wallace immediately has Cofield down to the inside. Here comes Matt Telder trying to make something happen here as he's down to the inside of Brandon Wallace. Wallace is on older tires, and you're seeing just how much of a hindrance that is as the field makes their way off of turn number 4. Wallace trying to fight up on that high side as Greg Barnett has Jonathan Cofield battling to the inside. As they are side by side off of turn number 2. Now Telder up into the 2nd position. He's trying to run down the 58 of Cofield. And Corey Bigley sits back in the 5th position. He is the last driver on the lead lap. So Cofield now out in front. Matt Telder sits in 2nd. Those are both playoff drivers. Corey Bigley back in 5th. He's a playoff driver. Then you got to go back a full lap to find Mike Kosick running back in 7th. Brandon Pollock back in 8th. Andy Kurtz back in 9th. As we are coming to 25 laps to go. Of course, drivers like Garrett Kinder, Mike Kosick, Brandon Pollock, Andy Kurtz, they want to see a caution here as Bigley. I thought Bigley was going to head into pit road. Looks like he might have got a little loose there. Let's take a look to see what happened to the 82 because it said he was entering pit road. Oh, made some contact with the 26. Both drivers were able to hold on to it. What a save. But that's going to check up Bigley a ton, and he's going to be almost 6 seconds behind our leader, Jonathan Cofield. Again, drivers like Garrett Kinder, Mike Kosick, Andy Kurtz, they want to see another caution, see if they can get themselves back onto the lead lap and have a shot at it. But right now, Jonathan Cofield up to the point and hanging on to it. Teller now falling off of Cofield just a little bit. Teller was able to come down pit road and get tires on that last caution that he was involved in. So that's allowing him to stay right with pace with Cofield. As we are quickly approaching 20 laps to go. So that caution coming out during the pit cycle really shook up not just the race, but what could possibly be the points going into the Final Four at Atlanta. We'll have to see how it all plays out here in 20 laps as Jonathan Cofield in cruise control out to almost a 1 second lead over second place Matt Telder. And then Corey Bigley runs back in fifth, about 6 seconds behind our leader. Cofield just logging laps right now as he's slowly pulling away from Matt Telder, who sits back in second place. Greg Barnett runs back in the third position. And Brandon Wallace back in fourth as he's trying to run down Greg Barnett, but it's a 3 second gap between Barnett and Wallace. See Corey Bigley batting back here in the fifth position, trying to work his way around Brandon Pollock. Pollock is a lap down. He's going to easily take a look down to the inside. We see the heavy damage to the right side of that one truck. It looks like Bigley might have enough time to run down Brandon Wallace. But then it's going to be a 3.5 second gap up to Greg Barnett. So, again, unless a caution comes out or something dramatic happens, I don't see Bigley making his way up into the top three here tonight. So Cofield continues the lead. 1 second lead over Matt Telder. Telder had a great strategy, tried to do what he could to try to get himself a win here tonight and steal a spot in that Final Four. But as the laps tick away, that lead slips away further and further. And Matt Telder, who gave it a valiant run, sits back in the second position. And again, unless the yellow comes out, his chances for a championship are all but over here tonight at Richmond. See Mike Kosick trying to get around Garrett Kinder. This is important because this is a battle for the lucky dog. Kinder is the last truck on the lead lap. Kosick trying to get around in case the caution does come out. Then Kosick would be able to get that lucky dog to get himself back onto the lead lap and try to try to win the race here tonight to lock himself into the Final Four. But for that to happen, he's going to need to get around Kinder, and a yellow flag is going to have to fall his way. But we have just 10 laps to go as Cofield comes off of turn number 4 to make it 9 laps to go. And Kosick continues to battle to try to find his way around that 13 of Garrett Kinder. Right along with Kosick, you see him back off the corner just a little bit earlier. Kinder, though, running that mid lane there, a little bit higher lane, trying to use the momentum. Here comes Kosick now diving down to the inside. And I think Kinder knows what's at stake here, so he didn't want to hold up the 3 machine of Mike Kosick in case that yellow does come out. See Andy Kurtz right behind as well, also trying to get that lucky dog in case there's a yellow to try to steal a win here tonight. As Cofield comes off of turn number 2, there's just 5.5 laps to go. Down the backstretch, Cofield comes. He might be the only driver on the track hoping the yellow does not come out, as his lead over Matt Telder is currently 1.3 seconds. Garrett Kinder just came down pit road. Brandon Wallace also down onto pit road. I think these drivers are just going to call it a night, as they are not out there racing for a championship, as Cofield has just 3 laps to go before he claims his victory and punches his ticket to the Final Four at Atlanta. Just 2 laps to go. Cofield pulling away from second place Matt Telder. Hoping that caution does not come out. But as they come across the stripe, white flag is going to be in the air. 1 more lap to go. Caution flag will be put away. Just 4 corners for Cofield before he can punch his ticket to Atlanta off of turn number 2. Just has to keep it nice and smooth as he comes through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. And Jonathan Cofield is going to win here at Richmond and punch his ticket to the Final Four at Atlanta. Matt Telder comes up just a little bit short back in the second position, and Greg Barnett with a fantastic run in third. Corey Bigley brings it home in fourth, and Mike Kosick looks like his season is going to end here with a 5th place finish. But Jonathan Cofield comes down to the front stretch where he's going to celebrate his win. As the traditional Rebels Demolition Derby takes place, and the leader, winner ends up on his wheels. I thought he was going to end up on his roof. As we take a look at the final results. And Jonathan Cofield gets the win and punches his ticket to the Final Four. Matt Telder comes home in second. Greg Barnett third. Corey Bigley back in fourth. And Mike Kosick in the 5th position. Andy Kurtz brings it home in 6th. Brandon Pollock back in 7th. Matt Kleeman, Greg Froenig, and Matt Knights round out your top 10. Tommy Osborne comes home 11th. Brandon Wallace in 12th. Gary Wright in 13th. Garrett Kinder Comes home 14th, Steve McDonald, Brett Bieber, Mike Bertosa, and Jonah Colbert round out the rest of the field here tonight at Richmond. But wow, what a finish here tonight as we get ready to talk to our top three. Starting with your third place finisher, the 38 of Greg Barnett. Greg, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Man, great run for you here tonight. Coming home on the podium, up in the top three. Using that strategy to get yourself up there, and a perfectly timed caution. Was that kind of the goal? Try to ride around up there on those older tires, hoping for a caution to get yourself in position for a podium?
Yeah, that's exactly what we tried. We we had good tire wear from the first caution, and it was about the same amount of laps. So I thought I'd just stay out, hoping that one of these guys might tank slap it and lose it off of two. But I really wasn't expecting Matt to stay out, and he did, and he kept most of the field back.
And that's exactly what was able to help you, having all those drivers a lap down. A lot of those playoff drivers a lap down as well. Did that kind of concern you at all, knowing the desperation moves that those playoff drivers might have been pulling here tonight to try to lock themselves into next week?
Yeah, yeah, it did, and uh, then I realized that that I was on fresher tires, and we were doing pretty good, up till the end there.
Well, a great job coming home on the podium, back in third, Greg. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout out to one of my buddies, Tommy Osborne, and all my Pale Horse and Grave Intentions racing buddies and teammates, and to my dad. He watches these races religiously.
Awesome, man. Well, that's glad to hear. I enjoy hearing he enjoys the broadcast. And Greg, again, congrats. And we look forward to seeing what you do next week at Atlanta.
All right, thanks, Josh. I
Have,
appreciate it, bro.
have a great night.
You too, bro.
So that was your third place finisher, Greg Barnett. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Matt Telder. Matt, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy. What's up?
Man, awesome run tonight. Comes home just a little bit short in second. Had the strategy almost worked out for you. You stayed out there during the pit cycle. Yellow came out. You trapped almost the entire field a lap down. And it almost worked out in your favor to punch your ticket to Atlanta, but coming up just a little bit short. Were you kind of surprised that yellow came out when it did? And was that exactly what you were hoping was going to happen?
Well, first off, you have clearly not been given an updated point standing roster because I clinched the fourth spot by 1 point over Andy by leading those laps.
Well, no, I have not.
Spots.
I have not gotten the most up to date points roster. So, man, I'm eating crow right now.
So it did work.
It did work in your favor. So, congrats on that Final Four. And again, I apologize. I just did not have the numbers in front of me. My calculator is obviously not working. So. But
no, yeah, my whole strategy was after that, when that first caution came out, we could go the rest of the way on fuel if you saved a little bit. So I started lifting and coasting. Being the fact I got an EOL for speeding on that under that caution, so I just start in the back anyway. So to save tires, I was like, oh, I'll just like start lifting early and stuff like that. It'll save me. I needed 2 laps of fuel, I think, to make it all the way in. So I was going for broke no matter what. If there was a caution or not, I was staying out and hoping that those guys just weren't fast enough to catch back up to me, unlap themselves, and make it all the way back around to me. So, wise man once told me, if you're doing what the fast guys do and you're not as fast as them, you're never going to beat them doing what they're doing. So,
for sure, and yeah, we have that updated points now up on the screen. So, man, that's awesome way to use the strategy to get yourself to Atlanta next week. How do you like your chances at Atlanta? Is that a track you enjoy, or is that a track that hinders you a little bit?
Do we know if it's new Atlanta or old Atlanta? I don't know which one it is, to be honest.
That's a good question. I
honestly don't know if it's new Atlanta or old Atlanta.
That's a great question. I'm taking a look at the schedule here. It just says Atlanta, so it might be the new Atlanta. So.
If it's new Atlanta, we're going for the W.
Yeah, that'd be almost like a super speedway there, and that could be anybody's ball game. So
exactly,
man, Matt, we look forward to seeing what you do next week at Atlanta, whether it's the new one or the old one. Before we let you go, though, anyone you want to thank, any shout outs you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, so I thank Kleeman and the other boys for the whole original Rebels League. They're great. Thank Hardline Transport Solutions for sponsoring the league, and thank you Josh and Intensity Broadcasting for putting this on for everybody every week. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. I just got the word on the Facebook chat, or on the the stream chat here. Matt Kleeman is yelling at me, "Old Atlanta, Old Atlanta." So we will be racing next week at the Old Atlanta.
Well, we better go figure out how to run Old Atlanta then. So
And he's messaging me on Discord and everywhere else. So yes.
sorry, Matt.
But yeah, so there you go. Well, we appreciate you. Good luck next week, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you, sir.
So that was your second place finisher, Matt Telder. Let's bring in your winner tonight, Jonathan Cofield. Jonathan, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Josh, yeah.
Man, a great run here today. Getting the win, using the strategy to get yourself out there. Actually, you were on the same strategy as the other guys, but you were just able to stay on the lead lap, and it proved to be the strategy to get you to the win here tonight. Yellow came out right in the middle of that pit cycle there. Did that kind of concern you, or was that kind of you were glad that came out because of the way that the results were here tonight?
It definitely concerned me when I come off pit road. I think I run 2 or 3 laps and caution come out, and I was like, oh man, how many laps am I down? So I looked at my timing and scoring, and I was a lucky dog. I was like, oh, this ain't gonna be half bad after all. And then Taylor didn't pit, and it trapped all the guys that been running up front all night a lap down. And luckily, I was a lucky dog on that one.
Yeah, the beneficiary of that for sure. And getting yourself the win punches your ticket to Atlanta next week. Before I get yelled at again, I have confirmed it is the Old Atlanta next week. So, how do you like your chances there at Old Atlanta?
I like them pretty good. Good old little cookie cutter track. I'm just glad it's the Old Atlanta, not the New Atlanta. That'd be like running Talladega in the championship race. But yeah, can't wait for 2 weeks to get over there and see what we can do with these guys.
Yeah, and that extra week, you get a little bit of extra time to practice, huh?
Oh yeah, watch videos, do some research, all kinds of stuff.
Well, again, Jonathan, congrats on the win. Congrats on punching your ticket to the Final Four. Before we let you go here tonight, you got anyone you thank? You got any shots you got to give here?
Oh yeah, Intensity Broadcasting, y'all do a great job at doing the broadcast. Can't wait to go back and watch. Matt Kleeman for what he does for this series. A lot of good guys in here. Clean racing, any other series probably would have had 50 cautions, but not us. I want to thank got Rusty's Off-Road Products on the hood of the truck. Got Jeep parts and all kind of good stuff. Hardline Transport Solutions, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Peg Leg Felts, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Thunderstruck Super Series, and everybody that makes this league go round and round.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win, and we look forward to seeing what you can do in 2 weeks at Atlanta.
Thank you, Josh.
Have a great night.
You too.
So that was your winner, Jonathan Cofield. I saw Corey Bigley. He was in the waiting room. I was going to pull him in, but he's already ran off. We wanted to congratulate him as well on moving on to the Final Four. So there you have it. Corey Hines, Corey Bigley, Matt Teller, Jonathan Cofield will be running for a championship at Atlanta in 2 weeks. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe, and join us back here in about 20 minutes as we get ready for the whole Heat and Sheet Metal Rebels Truck Series, Take the Track. Well, they'll be launching 4 drivers into the Final Four at Atlanta in their series. So, of course, thanks to all our series sponsors. Thanks to the Butt Kicker, Race EPI, IntensityRacing.com, Hardline Transport Solutions, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Peg Leg Felts, Thunderstruck Super Series, all the great sponsors of the league. And we look forward to seeing you back here in about 20 minutes. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say,